Join us today. We're going to talk about the 5-pound tomato. How did I grow a 5-pound tomato? With Morgan's Compost Dairy Dew products. And also I'd like to talk to you about a little quick trip over to Eris and give you an update on the white zombie. And also we'll have a little trip to Jack's today. Go over to see Jackson. All right, please join us. All right, just to give you an idea of what a 5.5-pound tomato looks like, a lot of people say, what does that look like, Bubba? And this one actually has a nice hole in the center of it. To give you an idea, we brought it to the tomato department. Here's the king of the tomatoes. Now, don't be scared, girls. She won't eat you. But anyways, and don't worry. You can keep growing. You can always catch up. Anyway, this is a giant tomato, 5-pound tomato, almost a Michigan State record. Join us at bigpumpkins.com. There's a tomato growing forum. Chris Konensky is the current state champion with a 6.23 tomato. And follow my videos. We're going to talk about what I learned this year growing this giant tomato. I learned a lot. When's the best time to set fruit? How do you get the tomatoes to produce megameters? I got all that and more to come. Next year, Mr. Wally's going down. Go ahead, all right, if you would, ma'am, if you could take that and then put that on the scale. We're going to see what it weighs. All right, here we go. What's Bubba got? Weight 5.46. Oh, wow. It's quickly losing weight. At home, I weighed it was 5.5. So there you go. Bubba has, as Marv Mitchell would say, egg on my face. Not a new state record, but it is a new personal best. My previous state record from 2014 was 4.44 pounds. This is a new personal best, and I want to share with you guys. We're going to make a video about what I learned growing this. I grew it this year at Dairy Dew, very good product, in a raised bed. So stay tuned. We're going to have more footage on that. She's a super freak. She's super freaky. Check it out. One giant tomato, 5.5-pound tomato. All right, back to Eris patch. There's the DMG pumpkin. Just sitting there, going back to nature, eh, Eri?
It got blowed up.
It got blowed up. But what I wanted to show you today was this tomato plant. This is a 9.65 Marley world record tomato plant that we kind of just let go wild. But what I want to show you, people that aren't familiar with the growing, these are Domingo tomatoes, which you can grow singles. You could grow this plant in singles and grow all kinds of 1, 2, and 3 pounders, even 4 and 5 pounders shaped just like this. They don't have to be freaky shaped like the worm. Just some of us choose to pick those freaky mega blossoms because we think they may get bigger because they're 4 or 5 tomatoes fused together. But these plants are great for you guys that say, oh, I don't want to grow no world record tomato seed because all I'm going to get is a freaky looking caterpillar. Well, that ain't the case. That ain't the case. You can grow all kinds of nice shaped tomatoes. In fact, there was another one down here. Here's another one now. That would come out nice 3-pound beautiful tomato. All right, just trying to share the wisdom, share the information that I know, because there's a lot of misconceptions out there. White zombie.
Hard.
The white zombie's turning orangey, right?
Yeah. Pink and yellow.
Look at that thing.
Hit it. Oh, that feel?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's got meat there.
Yeah, there's some meat. It's turning orange.
Yeah.
The 2145 McMullen. Wow, it's a honey. I wonder what that's taping. About September 9th, the plants are starting to, the weeds are coming in. It's getting cooler days, cooler nights. You'll probably be lucky to get another 100 pounds on it. But you'll be taking this to Andy T's or Dundee.
I ain't made my mind up yet.
All right, stay tuned, folks. Stay tuned, find out where Eri's taking the white zombie. How's it doing? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, what a beauty. That's a looker.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty. I think they get best in show or something, you know?
That depends on what shows up, but that's a honey.
That's pretty.
That's a pretty pumpkin.
Yeah.
She's looking big. How does she sound? And not so heavy, but
Yeah. But she's wide.
yeah. How's your vine shape? And she's looking a little rough. There ain't much plant left here. Is this, what plant is this? This zombie plant or this?
Oh, that's all that.
Oh, that's all this. Okay.
All this is this.
So it's got some plant on it.
Nice green leaves.
All right.
Yeah, I think really wide.
So, you got a name for this one?
That's Twisted Sister.
Twisted Sister?
Yeah.
Twisted Sister.
Out front.
She's a honey.
Yeah, look how wide that is.
Twisted Sister. That's the name we'll give her on the seed sites this winter. Look for Twisted Sister. You can purchase the seeds out of this pumpkin, and then and look for the white zombie.
Tomato.
It's gonna eat ya, Eris.
It looks like it's gonna eat you, don't it?
It does.
Yeah.
All right, here's my past credentials. Back we have 2011, 12, 13, and 14. In 14, I grew a state record 4.4 pound tomato. All right, now since then the tomato growers have gotten really serious and knocking it out of the park with these 8, 9, and 10 pound tomatoes. So Bub is in hot pursuit. I will get there. Mr. Wally, your 10K record is going down. Chris K, your state record is going down. 2021 will be a good year. The first thing I did on growing the giant tomato was listen to Steve Marley, Pork Chop, the world record holder, the former world record holder. It sure did change hands fast. But anyways, it'll change hands fast again, trust me. But Steve told me, he said, just stick the plant in the ground. Put your tomato plant in the ground and don't feed it. Don't feed it. Don't hammer it with fertilizers. You know, of course, you want to, you know, do a soil test. Make sure you got good nutrients. Make sure your calcium and boron levels are all good. You want to make sure that your sulfur, one thing you notice with the tomatoes, just like all other plants, they need sulfur, copper. Your copper needs to be adequate. Your optimum levels. Don't be deficient in any area. And then just stick your tomato plant in the ground and just let it grow. Let it grow. Maybe you can hit it with some amino acids every 2 weeks, something mild, some kelp or something, but nothing serious. No serious fertilizing. Unless your soil is just terrible. If you got terrible soil, then you might have to feed it. But most of us don't. Most of us have jack soils. So let it grow. And then come July, what I did is my plant got covered in blossoms. It got covered in tomato blossoms, and they were all singles. They were all singles, maybe a few doubles. And I decided about July 10th, I just pinched all the flowers off the plant, every single one of them, pinched them off. I said, I'm gonna make it start over. And so when it did, all of a sudden megas started showing up. And Steve told me they would. Steve Marley said they're gonna start showing up about the end of July. Well, a little earlier than that, it was like July, I think the worm showed up about July 22nd. Anyways, that's what I did. And then I did make a mistake again this year. We learn from our mistakes. There is no perfect grow. Maybe there will be someday, but for me, I always learn from my mistakes. It's a constant learning process. So I figured at that point in time, I had to start feeding it. The tomato showed up, and I thought if I don't feed it, I'm going to get that blossom end rot. I was a little paranoid, a little gun shy from the year before when I got blossom end rot. The blossom end rot, according to my friend Danny Fleeser in Williamston, Michigan, he only gets blossom end rot when he feeds his tomato plants. So that's telling me what we're doing is we're overfeeding them, which in turn is we're blocking out the nutrients. We're throwing things out of balance so then the plant doesn't take in the calcium that it needs because it's been hammered too hard. And you're not looking for that curled leaf. I want to do a shout out to my friend Tucker in Oklahoma. Hey, Tucker in Oklahoma. He sent me some pictures today. This summer, he was sending me some pictures asking about the tomatoes. And I told Tucker, no, Tucker, you don't want the curled leaves. We do not want the curled leaves. That's a misconception. There's a lot of rumors going around. Oh, you want the curled leaves. No, you don't. So we talk about curled leaves. And the leaves curl up because they're getting way too many nutrients, so they curl up. It's really not a good thing. It's kind of old school. It's how Dan McCoy grew the 8.44 pound world record, was it? Something, 8 something world record. See how quickly they're forgotten. The world records just keep getting popped. It's amazing. Great grows at the time, but now they keep outdoing them. But what you want is you want more, the leaves to stay looking normal. A darker green, healthy plant is what we want. And we don't want to push the plants. See, it takes a while. You think you make mistakes. You look at these blossoms. I got blossoms. I'm still letting this plant grow. I went ahead and cut everything back on it. And I thought I'm gonna see what it produces after the fact. And so just a little experiment here and seeing what kind of blossom it produces. This Clements, the Bubdingo I call it. This was a good seed. I got a really good seed. It produced a lot of mega tomatoes. So there you go. I just wanted to show the curled leaf to show some people that maybe you're not familiar with what we're talking about. This is the curled leaf, overfed leaf. This is not what we're looking for. I checked out Jack LaRue. Jack LaRue's having a great year. Congratulations, Jack. You're doing awesome in the tomatoes. And I checked out his diary, and his tomato plants are green, healthy, not curled leaves. And I'm like, okay, Jack's not hammering them. So what they're doing is they're trickle feeding, just a mild trickle feed. And I think it's just a knee-jerk reaction to want to just hammer them with fertilizers. If you think about it, a tomato only has to grow 4, 5, 6 ounces a day at its peak. We're talking ounces, not pounds. When you got pumpkins growing, you're talking 10, 20, 30, 40 pounds a day. Yeah, you're hammering some fertilizers to get that kind of weight. 40 pounds versus 4 ounces. So when you take that into consider that, I think what you want to do is keep a healthy plant. A healthy plant is going to do better in the long run. Just nice green leaves, not curled. When I did start feeding my plant this year, because I was a little bit worried because of the year before, my leaves curled right up the first week. So I overdid it again. So now I've learned my lesson, and I will back off. I will back off next year, and we'll do just a trace feeding and keep the copper and the calcium, the boron and sulfur. Make sure that's all at good levels. And this year I did use some from Morgan's Composting, the Stress Blaster. I mean, it was a successful grow. 5.5 pound tomato is a successful grow, but it wasn't the dream grow. We're all shooting for the dream grow. So with that being said, next year, join me next year, because I'm kind of rambling on here, and I will show you next year what we are feeding them, what I'm gonna feed them. We're gonna get to the top of the pile. Bubba's gonna get Mr. Wally's record. Yes, I like going out on a limb. I don't mind if I get a little egg on my face. I think you gotta believe it, you gotta dream it to achieve it. So join me next year. I'm looking for a premium spot. I wanna grow a giant pumpkin next year. I'm looking for the golden spot. I may relocate to make that happen so that I get out of this hot park. It's too hot in this park. I can't grow. It's like a convection oven in here. And I want to get out of here. So I'll probably be moving this winter and finding a nice premium spot to grow next year. So hey, please join us and keep them growing. Hey, it's fun, man. Tomatoes are a lot easier to grow. And like I was showing you at Eris Patch, you can grow nice shape. They don't have to be ugly, freak looking tomatoes. You can grow nice shaped 2, 3, 4. And Marley says, Pork Chop says that you can grow 5 pound Domingos that are just one solid tomato, beautiful tomato. It's just a matter of which blossoms you choose. So the worm tomato seeds drying out. I think there's probably a couple hundred seeds here. I don't have time to count them, but I'm just estimating. I'm going to sell these at the site, worldwidegiantgrowers.com. You'll find these seeds. I haven't set a price on them, but keep in mind, these are from the world record, 9.65 Marley, and this was self-pollinated. It was the only tomato plant I grew, so it had no other choice but to be self-pollinated. All right, so please get your seeds while they're available.
Grandpa will never miss just one tomato.
Taking for a walk.
My best friend.
Your best friend. Your best friend, the worm from Detroit. Tell you about my best friend. Too funny, Jack, too funny. They're fighting for the giant tomato. Who gets to eat it? Oh, not the worm. Stop, stop, you animals. He's on the 10, he's on the 20. Go, Jack, go! Score!
My grandpa knocked it out of the park and grew a giant tomato with dairy goo.
People always ask me, what do you do with a 5.5 pound tomato, Bubba? Hey, I always say, what don't you do with it?
My turn to hit it out of the park, Grandpa.
There you go. Nice. All right. The tomato seeds are being loaded up this week on the website, worldwidegiantgrowers.com. Get your seeds, 3 seeds. Don't blame the seed. They'll grow on the seed. A lot of times it has to do with weather. The weather here was too hot. My worm ripened at 42 days. I know that it had a little soft spot around the stem it was started. Just too warm in this manufactured part to grow with all the heat rolling off these shingled roofs, the homes so close together. So don't blame the seed. These are great genetics. I had over a dozen mega blossoms produced on this. I lost count. After a dozen, I quit counting them. This is a great seed. This is the only seed I will grow next year. 4 plants. And I'm going to try to tackle the 10K tomato, my own personal 10K tomato. And I believe I will do it with this seed. So get your seeds at worldwidegiantgrowers.com. All right? And remember, keep it a secret, but go tell a friend. Bubba's growing the giants and sharing it on YouTube. Thanks for joining us today. Please, if you like the videos, turn on your notifications, subscribe to the channel, and hey, join us in the next video. We are going to harvest the 150-pound pumpkin. It's somewhere between 400 and 500 pounds, and we're going to take it over to Jackson, put it in his front yard. So we'll have that, and we're also going to show you the inside of Eris DMG. How thick was that DMG that went and puked at the Michigan State Fair? All right, so please join us next week for our next video. Thank you for viewing. I've been so busy I forgot to drop some seeds in the mail. Scott from Kentucky. I'm not going to try to pronounce your last name because Bubba's the butcher when it comes to names. I just dropped some seeds in the mail, the seeds that you won in August, and as a bonus for being delayed, I added the worm. You're going to receive the first 3 seeds from the worm. 5.46, my personal best tomato, are in the mail to you, going out today. All right, thanks for commenting and watching the videos. I greatly appreciate it. Stay tuned, everybody. More seeds to be given away this year.